I've been waiting to say this joke to you all day long. Actually, I was waiting since January the 1st. It's been a year since I seen you.
Man, I haven't seen you in a whole year.
A whole year.
Since last year, anyway.
Yeah. Why is this not pulling up now? I said I was getting it started, and now it's not. It's not there. I'm good in my ears, by the way. Sounds good, as always. I guess I can't say as always, but most of the time it sounds good.
Most of the time. That's really all we're hoping for is most of the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
if we're trying to hope for all of the time,
I think we're at like a 90% rate, I would guess, of...
Go back and listen to the early episodes. It's gotten a lot better. I'm not sure about the content, but the sound quality's gotten a lot better.
Yeah. Content's about the same, I would guess.
About the same,
Content's about the same. But the quality's better.
Quality is amazing. I'm smoking a Perdomo Habano. I got some cigars for Christmas. I feel like with the podcast, I feel like I'm not an easy person to shop for. First of all, if I want something, I kind of just go get it, you know? Yep. So it's like, I get a lot of Amazon gift cards, which are great and really appreciated. But the last 2 years, since we now had 2 Christmases doing the podcast, I've gotten podcast related Christmas gifts. Last year, I was really excited. My sister-in-law got me a embossed lighter and cutter. Really appreciative of that. And then this year, my mother-in-law got me some cigars. My brother-in-law got me this hat with our logo on it. So I like the hat a lot. But today I'm smoking a Perdomo Habano. I'm putting it in your camera because it's closer to me.
By the way, the lady that does our...
Sun-grown.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite. I'm on a Punch Golden Era kick right now. So I bought the longer stick. I don't remember. Do we have our sign? Where's our sign that says what their names are?
Oh, it's not up.
It's not up.
I've been throwing darts lately.
Are you any good at darts?
Getting better.
Oh, practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Except I'm so old it hurts my elbow if I throw too long.
Oh, man. So I wanted to say
Isn't that
something.
horrible?
I'll talk about old people stuff in just a second. So the lady that does our kind of has done our merch with our T-shirts and stuff, she just recently made some upgrades, and so we're gonna have some hats that are embroidered.
Ooh, I like that.
I like it a lot too.
Do you like, in general, embroidered hats or patch hats better, just in general?
If it's a silicone, like I think this one is not a silicone that I have on.
Yeah.
That's a leather.
Yeah.
I think I have a leather on today. Silicone I like better than leather patches. But if I'm making a choice, I would much rather it be embroidered rather than a patch. Now, this is very bald person talk, but a patch makes my head itch because of the way the stitching is.
Oh.
Sometimes the stitching comes through. It makes my head itch.
I didn't notice that.
If you have hair, it's probably not a problem.
Probably not a problem. A lot of things are probably not a problem. You just got to pay for haircuts, though.
Still got to pay for haircuts.
I don't pay for haircuts.
Shout out to the KP the barber, man. He is killing it.
Yeah.
He cuts my son's hair.
Right.
He always asks if I want him to cut mine, but it's okay.
You know, it's almost like barbers are kind of like funeral people. Like eventually, you get service for people for a little while, and then I don't know why I thought they were like funeral people. I guess I was thinking about you have a dying population, but there's a wide swath of the country. If you're a male barber, it's like you got them till they're 35, and then
I don't know, man. There's a guy in there that needed to just shave his head, and he was over there in that.
When did you decide to shave yours? Like, how did that decision come about?
It really wasn't a decision.
Because you did it long before I did.
So I started losing my hair when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
The original reason why I thought it was I had experimented with some chemical straightener.
Oh, yeah.
I thought maybe that caused because my hair fell out in chunks.
Forgot you had a fro.
Yeah. And then it kind of came to mind. I had a birthmark on my forehead right here.
Your dad did too, right?
Yes.
Because I think I saw some old pictures of him.
Yeah.
Maybe like when he was coaching before he was just teaching. Because when I was there, he was just teaching. But when my sister was there, he was coaching too. I think when he was coaching, he had the curly top.
That was back in the days where the coaches wore very short shorts and white.
They're back.
Lots of white
They're
short
back.
shorts.
That 5-inch inseam is back.
No,
now.
I will not. As a coach, I will not wear that. But I had that birthmark removed from my forehead, and it had grown, like the roots had grown in the back of my head. And so they had to lift my scalp. And so when they lifted my scalp, that's when I noticed a significant amount of hair loss shortly after that, within 2 years.
They ruined it.
Yeah. But what's weird, though, is both of my grandparents have a full head of hair. My brother has a full head. My grandfathers, anyways. Both my grandfathers had a full head of hair until they were in their 80s. My brother has a full head of hair. And my dad just recently started shaving his due to some medicine that he's taking. It helps. He gets stuff on his head. So, but yeah, I started shaving my head pretty quick. When I remember there's a picture that someone took, and I'm laying on the floor, and there, like, you can see, like, it's so patchy. And I was like, all right, now's the time.
About time. I
It's
didn't
been
mind during
15
COVID.
years at least.
Yeah, I didn't mind during COVID, so it hasn't been that long. 5 years, almost 6. Doesn't seem that long. But I'd been wanting to. I felt like it was time. You know?
Yeah.
A good friend of mine said, you got to fire it before it quits on you.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, we're going to be in our houses for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. I'm not going to see anybody. So now's a good time. Like, I'm going to do it. Middle of March is getting about time to maybe do the first cut on the yard. And another mutual friend of ours who has a bald head said, hey, don't worry about it being white. Just shave it, go mow your yard. You'll be fine.
Yep.
You know, sure
That's
enough, that's what I did. I shaved it, went and mowed the yard. And I was like, if I hate it, then I'll have something in 2 or 3 weeks before I have to see someone again. Never look back.
Do you, I didn't anticipate head shaving as a topic of the conversation tonight, but do you shave with a razor, or do you shave with one of those like head, like skull shavers, or?
Yeah. So if I let it go too long, if I'm good about it, then I can use just the skull shaver and keep that going. I don't bick it ever.
Really? I do.
Yeah.
Every
we
time.
have our mutual friend I was referencing. He does too. I have, but it's been a minute. So I use that skull shaver, and I'm happy with that. It looks, 5 o'clock shadowy all the time. But if I let it go too long, then I've got to hit it with the actual clippers first.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if I'm not seeing people and I'm getting to wear hats all the time, I'll let it go. But
see, I would like to see how long mine would get, but then I look really old because my hair's white.
I could do
the
the
hair
Trump,
I do have is white.
I could do the Trump comb over.
I see. I don't think I could. It would take a
But
long
it would
time.
take a long time to get it out. Yeah. That would be a commitment to be Trump for Halloween. I have to start growing my hair right now.
That would be a great bit.
Then dye it blondish orange.
And then you would have to get a tan.
Yes. No, not a tan.
A spray tan.
An orange.
An orange spray tan.
Yeah.
That would be a great bit. I had a professor in college. We went on like this field trip to see some historical site. It was like a historiography class where we had to go like look at the Texas plaques around the state. And he gets out of his car, and I didn't realize how bad of a comb over he had until he gets out and it goes
like a sail straight up.
Did you watch the Cowboy game?
I did not watch a single play. Not on purpose. Had my son's birthday party, during the game. So we were busy with those kinds of things. But it is a rare thing for me it's not because the season's over and all that jazz. It's a rare thing for me not to see a Cowboy game. But I didn't see a single play.
I flipped it off.
I saw the score and I saw Jaden Blue was in. So I literally haven't thought about it or seen it or anything. But did we play all the starters?
When Dak fell, he slipped. I turned it off.
Yeah.
So they played the starters to start. Jaden Blue had a great game, actually. That's why I picked him up. I told our fantasy football commissioner, I said, this is why I picked him up. Like late in the game, like late rounds, I picked up Jaden Blue, and then I ended up dropping him because they never played him. But
Yeah.
he had a good game. Now, it is the Giants. I recognize that. But, defense is horrible. It's so bad. And I was trying to give Eberflus like a pass because, some of them are not his guys, and he runs a different system than what we've run in the past. But good gravy.
Yeah. I don't know if he stays, but first time the Cowboys have ever allowed 500 points in a season. And now there was some talk today about, hey, it's also we haven't had 17 game seasons, but for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So, but still, it's the highest. If you just go by average, when the Cowboys started playing in 1960, there were only 12 games. But this is the first year we've averaged over 30 points a game.
Yeah.
Allowed. So regardless of how many games there are in the season, it's the worst the Cowboys defense has ever been in the history of the Cowboys. So given those points, like how does Eberflus keep his job? When you have coaches, and we can go down the list here, I put them on the run sheet, that got fired after one season, a couple coaches on that list. I don't know how Eberflus as a DC keeps his job after one season when it is literally the worst defensive season for the Cowboys in the history of the Cowboys. And with usually most weeks, the number one offense in the league.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of stings.
Yeah.
Not kind of. That's what stings.
Yeah.
If your defense can just hang on some of those, you got a shot. And I know we're just Cowboys talking over here like we got a shot, but you think Eberflus is gone?
I think so.
I think so too.
I
don't think there's any.
Now,
It's not one of Jerry's guys. You know, it's not like he was a coach here before or something like that, or played here. You know, like Jerry loves those types. Somebody kept, Jay Jeezy around too long, but it's not one of his guys. I think he goes.
I will say,
or you have to transform the whole defense. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, Eberflus gets a little bit of a pass for me because of the players that were out. Like Overshown didn't start the season. He was supposed to be a big hit. Diggs is Diggs, and that was a whole catastrophe in itself. The whole Micah Parsons trade, not trade. They didn't add some defensive linemen until late in the year. I mean, because what did we give up to the Cardinals? It was like 45 points.
Too many.
Yeah, but it was way too many.
71 of those 500 points we let people score on us went to the New York Football Giants.
Yeah. And so I think that some of the,
ridiculous.
It's like a 50-50 in my book. Like Jerry has to take a role in this because he has to take I know you roll your eyes at that statement, but he has to, and what I heard today,
no one disagrees with you except for Jerry Jones.
What I heard today, he took some responsibility for it.
Yeah, he says it, but he won't step down from being GM.
He's not going to.
Right.
So as a Cowboy fan, you either have to accept it or move on.
Yep.
Right. So Jerry, the GM, is there until he passes away.
Yeah.
Now, will they bring in somebody different? I think so. I don't think Steven or the other two want to run the team like that. They want to be owners. Right.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But
I don't think Stephen Jones can say that right now
No, I agree.
Until Dad passes away.
But I think as long as Jerry's alive and can make it up to the owner box, he's going to be the GM.
And he's like 80 something.
Yeah.
In good health, like he appears to be. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine like a 95-year-old Jerry Jones still is the GM of the Cowboys?
It is what it is. That's what you have to deal with as a fan, though.
Isn't that crazy?
It's absolutely crazy.
You can be 95 and be the owner, of course.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like 90, 95 years old, and you are the GM of an NFL franchise?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It is what it is.
Man.
As fans, we either got to deal with it or move to a different team. And your backup team did not have a great year.
They did not. It was not a good year for me. But I'm not a bandwagon. I was a fan of the Chiefs before Mahomes got there. I like to tell everybody. So,
but yeah,
you had the Alex Smith days.
Oh, it wasn't
horrible.
No. When he broke his leg.
Yeah. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's one of the worst. There's some injuries that stand out in my mind, and that's one of them.
We need to throw this up on the social, but there's a GIF, or not a GIF, a meme, whatever you want to call it. It's a picture of the stadium with words on it. Whatever that is. Of the stadium in Washington, the Redskins stadium, and it's like that, in the red zone, but on that side of that end of the field, and it is like all of the injuries that have happened in that one little plot of ground.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's
a crappy stadium to begin with.
It is,
but how many injuries have been right there?
Too many,
and nasty ones too.
So I don't think I knew Stefanski. I don't think I knew Stefanski got fired.
Yeah. So. That was
the Browns.
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame anybody who goes to the Browns and is not successful, because no one goes there and
I guess I didn't realize he was there for 6 seasons.
I know, I didn't either. I mean, not that we're really paying attention to the Browns, but of course, Dayball went in November. The Titans got rid of theirs in October. So those were 2 vacancies already before you get to Black Monday, and then they got rid of the Falcons coach last night.
And the GM, right?
Yes, that came across the feed during the Ravens. My son was heartbroken. Did you watch that game?
I didn't watch it, but I saw it.
You saw how it ended?
Yeah. Yeah.
He made a ring. He was heartbroken because when Rodgers went down and scored, and I was like, buddy, it's fine. They missed their extra point. And he was excited. I was like, you got 55 seconds. They have to kick it off. You get a little run back. You get a Derrick Henry or something, a few yards, and then you get your guy to kick a field goal for the win, not just to tie it and go to overtime.
Right.
You got a chance to win this thing, and they drove down there and got in field goal range. Man, when he missed that field goal, he got up, slammed his arms down to his side, walked out of the room. We were sitting out in the garage watching the game, and a minute or two went by, and I said, you want to go check on that? Because she's the one for that with the boys. And she said, no, I think I'm going to let it go a little bit longer. He was so heartbroken. But he's doing better today. He shook it off, and, they had a rough season with injuries.
Yes.
With Lamar out, how many weeks he was out. It was a miracle that you were playing
for the playoffs,
for the division.
Yeah.
At the end, with what they've had to deal with. So
I think the big changes for the Cowboys will be you've got to figure out a way to bring back Pickens. You've got to figure out a way to bring back that running back, Williams.
Yeah.
And then everybody else on the defense, just go out and try your best. At a certain point, you have this year, next year. Well, you wasted this year. You have next year and maybe the following year.
Use the picks wisely. I don't know who we have that's super tradable. If you're trying to keep your run going, you need to keep your weapons that you have on the offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, Diggs is gone. Micah's gone. Use your picks wisely. See what's out there in the trade market, but get a coach in here who matches your players.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you got to cut the whole defense
and
get players here used to running Eberflus's system.
Yep.
Because we don't have just a whole stack of talent on the defensive side.
Not at all.
But to make matters worse, you have a coach trying to run a system those players don't know how to run or aren't used to running.
And I can't help but wonder if the whole Micah shenanigans had an effect on the defense because it took so long.
And Trayvon, he didn't want to be here. The Joneses didn't want him here.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on. If you don't listen to Dallas sports radio, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes there than was played out.
Did you hear the possibility, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe the reason why he was out with the concussion at his house?
No.
That it was a stripper pole hit him in the head.
That might have been it, because when you would hear Jerry or Stephen Jones talk about it on the radio, you could tell in their voice they were done with him weeks ago.
Yeah, and they were so frustrated.
He was going to leave the Cowboys 6 weeks ago. Whatever.
So I'm happy that the season's over, but I'm sad. I think we had this conversation about this time last year, but I'm sad that football is ending because it's like a peaceful background noise for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Luka's no longer with us, the Mavericks are the Mavericks. Who knows what they're going to do with AD? I kind of want him to try to stick it out and see if it'll work out when they bring Irving back. But I just read a report as I was walking in here that everybody's on the trade table with the exception of Flag and Irving.
Wow.
So, they may have a totally different roster after the trade deadline, which is fine. But, man, it's crazy just to think of how pro sports are going. And while we're talking about that, this Texas Sports Academy keeps coming across my Instagram socials. And as I was pulling clips for the Representative Money podcast, it kept bringing back to the ESAs. I kept thinking about that more and more and more, and I'm trying to process exactly how how do we get to what his idea was? I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying, do we ever get to a full 100% ESA? And so, those are kind of where my thoughts are going. And then this comes across and it says the picture on the left of the screen is kind of the image, and it's a young lady. It looks like she's playing lacrosse, which we don't have as UIL sport in Texas, but it could possibly be one day. And it says, why pay for curriculum and sports training separately when you can get one state voucher that covers both? And I wish the conversation would have led us this way. I'm not saying that he avoided it or that we didn't bring it up, but like, this is my fear, right? Because, Texas is launching education freedom accounts.
They're not calling them that, are they?
They're not. They're educational savings accounts.
Right. I just haven't seen that term. I didn't know if there was some kind of cutesy name, thrown out there, but I haven't seen education freedom accounts.
So basically what this is you will go through an educational program that's provided by the state for free online.
Yeah.
You pay this company $10,800, which is your voucher money. All right. And then you can go train in sports for 2 hours every day. And then, so one of the things that they promise is like, I can't really read it because it's too small for me where the angle I'm at, but it says something about D1 prospects. Is that the second?
It says D1 exposure platform.
Okay. So they're promising a 10% more exposure going to these D1 platforms. And so like, there's this big hubbub in high school sports right now, and it's carrying out right now in the transfer portal. And it's also carrying out in like, gosh dang it, what's his name? He's a basketball coach at Arkansas, and he was at Kentucky for forever. Had a big rant a couple of weeks ago that went viral about how the transfer portal is killing high school sports. It's killing high school students who are trying to get out. And in Texas, it's not really killing, it's killing the high school sports of being able to go play D1 sports. And then we have our illustrious Waco University, Baylor, who just signed James Najee. Now, I don't know if you know a whole lot about, I know that you follow basketball through the podcast through me.
Exactly.
James Najee played for an entire season in the G League. He was drafted in the second or third, late in the second, early in the third round in the NBA draft, but never declared for the draft. He was drafted, he played the G League. Well, now, due to the rules, he can go and play Division I basketball.
Okay, so explain the difference to me and anybody else who doesn't know. He was the 31st pick in the 2023 NBA draft, but because he only played in the G League, he remains eligible.
Correct.
So if he had gone and actually played for Charlotte,
correct,
he'd have to stay professional.
Correct.
Huh. Do they not get paid in the G League? Is that
They do. But
so
see,
what's the line of demarcation there?
I'm not exactly sure of that answer. Now,
because you would think if you're playing in, to me, this would be similar to if you go and play in the minors in baseball.
Right.
And then try to go back to college.
But does that rule change now because of the way that, with NIL money and stuff like that? I mean, the thing is I want to kind of tie this in a bow and try to make sense out of it as a complete thought. If you have these schools, these online platforms that are trying to promise you D1 looks, within a small margin, those D1 schools are not looking at high school sports. Now, there may be some special kid that comes along that is able to make that jump from high school sports straight into D1 sports. And I'm not just talking about football or basketball, but I'm talking about across the board. And I'm talking about girls and boys, because the volleyball tournament ended, and before the dadgum tournament was over, the transfer portal opened. And so there were players who were playing or had just finished playing in the locker room, entering themselves in the portal. So my response to the ESAs is not really that it's a good or a bad thing, right? But I fear that you're going to see more of this type of stuff.
Right.
Where you have these online quote unquote schools that are making promises to these kids when, they may talk to a coach, but in all reality, if you're looking to go Power 5, they already know who you are, whether you are in that online program or not. I mean, think about this. Think about an Arch Manning, okay? You have the pedigree. You have all of the things. You have everything mentally set for you. And you didn't even touch the field in the first season.
Yeah.
So if a guy like that, who is related to 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks and has a a grandfather that, played in the NFL, if he doesn't even get a look at the D1 level, how can you expect some kid to be able to do that?
Here's what I don't like about it. Going back to the slide. This is marketed. I'm sure they market everywhere, but this particular post that they made on Instagram is marketed to homeschool families because it has the either or. On the left side, it says a $2,000 voucher, which is what under this new Texas law, homeschool families get. And then they say invisible to coaches, you teach and you stress and you're having to do it all yourself, which is not true. Now, I'm not going to vouch for the level of competitiveness in homeschool sports, but it exists. You get a bunch of families together that want to play.
It's
sports.
It can be very good.
Yeah, it exists. It's not like the moms out there having to be like, well, we just have to play volleyball against each other because there's no one else. No, they get together and like a co-op type thing. But then they're saying instead of that, give us your $10,800 voucher and we'll do all these things for you. And what I don't like about it is the spirit of the law is academics, not sports.
Correct.
The spirit of the law is for the kid who's zoned to this particular failing school and can't leave it and can't go anywhere. And so give the parents a little money to either take them to private school or pay out of district tuition if that's a possibility to go to another school. Not so they can basically focus on sports, but also like do a little bit of math and English on the side to meet the requirement.
So what they'll do is they'll roll in what's called K-12. They'll enroll those kids in K-12, which is free. It doesn't cost anything. You have some person there who is going to watch them go through this. They'll use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And they'll get through it.
And kind of to your point, and I don't want to be mean about it, but it seems like this is focused on these are kids that are going to have a future in sports. So we'll kind of do the academics on the side. It's not going to be spectacular, but our focus is sports because you're going to have but if there's a kid out there that's going to have a future in sports, the schools already know about them.
Mm-hmm.
Or they would find out about them through.
The amount of exposure that a high school can give a kid is immense. There's so much capability, but the problem is a lot of times is, I'm not saying all the time, so I want to be clear because you're walking a fine line. A lot of times the parents think their kid is better than they are.
Yeah, 100%.
Or is a big fish in a small pond.
Yes.
And I've seen it. I can speak more to volleyball because like when you go to these volleyball tournaments, every dad in that, now I've been guilty of this, but every dad in their daughter has a camera and they're filming that and they're getting stats and they're doing all this stuff and they're getting upset about it. But you're playing in a tournament where there's very little competition and it's on level to where you should be. Now, if you really want competition, you go to those big tournaments. And I'm talking about the 3-day tournaments where everybody and their brother is there. Those are the real tournaments that you can get some good exposure. But you have to be playing at a high elite level.
That's what I mean. Like, select sports exist for public school, private school, homeschool, whoever you are. It's outside of however you are doing academic school. Like, there's tons of homeschool kids. We have friends who homeschool their kids because they're so good at select or club ball.
Right.
And because of the traveling that's involved and things like that, they homeschool because of that.
But it costs way more than $10,000 to do something like that. Like if you're going to commit to it, like I'm talking about like when you add up the travel, when you add up all of those things.
That's my question though. Is this academy saying they're going to fund everything and all they want is your voucher?
It sounds like it.
How?
That's the thing. Like they're not going to tell you about, oh, well, we're traveling to Pittsburgh to play in this tournament.
Right.
So that's where you have to pay up.
I mean, you and I both know the cost of selecting club ball.
It's not cheap. It costs more than that.
What that $10,000 covers is like your coaching fees and training.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't include travel.
And it doesn't cover the $20 per person to get into the facility.
Stinks so bad.
But see what I'm saying? Like,
like
you're selling them this, which is great for the kid who is unfortunate. Like I understand that those kids do exist, but a place like this is marketing it to like, oh, well, we'll do some academics, but we really want to focus on that. Yeah. And I just think that that's wrong. I don't think that that's the spirit of what what Representative Money sat here and said, because I can get on board with some of what he said.
Yeah.
And I agree with him. We have to have some sort of dynamic shift in the education system in the state of Texas.
You know, another thing I don't like, let's bring the slide back up again. We're for the third time. Their little tagline down here, you teach, you stress. Over there on their side, we teach, you parent. Like, that ain't how education works.
No.
You can't hand everything off to the school and say you do everything. I don't know.
But again, that goes back to what Representative Money said, is we have to have parent involvement.
Right, exactly. Right.
We have to. And so it's like, I struggle with stuff like that. And it's not just this. This is just the one that's been coming across. There are others out there.
Yeah.
And they're going to pop up more and more and more. And they're going to say, hey, we can, it's a pyramid scheme is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if you have other stuff to say, I'll tie a bow on it for my comments and say this. Anytime the government gets involved funding something, people are going to pop up to get that government money. And generally what happens is stuff gets more expensive.
Yeah.
The government doesn't come out and pay for anything and get the market cheaper. I was listening to a podcast earlier today, actually, on Obamacare, on the Affordable Care Act, and talked about how much, and it happens over time, how much prices have gone up, not just for insurance premiums, but just doctor bills and things.
Right.
And it's like, you look at that. And then when the government got into the business of guaranteeing student loans, how expensive college got. Every time the government says they're going to pay for something, that says blank check to whatever industry they're paying for. And all it does is make costs go up.
100%.
So now if a private school says, oh, now you don't have to pay all your tuition, you get $10,000 per kid, what's going to happen to private school tuition?
Yeah. I looked whenever this was coming through. There was not a school in our general area within a drivable distance that was less than $10,800. No. There was not one. That's
even the one that is more economical to the east of us here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Then we have our good buddy, not really good buddy, friend of the show, I'll say. Dwight Howard says Trump should consider 18 months mandatory service to restore discipline and structure. When I saw this, I thought this was AI. Because I thought, wait, there's no way. Then I went in and I read it. I was like, okay, well, yeah, he did say that. I don't really have a hard take on this. I do kind of sort of agree with that. But then again, we are in an authoritarian era right now. So if Trump did something like that, imagine what the protests would be like.
I was going to say, Dwight, I don't know if you're a fan of Trump or not, but that's not a good political strategy at the moment, sir. Like, can you imagine?
No, I can't imagine. I can't even wrap my brain around what that would be like.
I understand your point, but I would think Susie Wiles would be saying, no, sir. We got enough fires to put out at the moment.
That's at the bottom of the list.
In a midterm election year, nope.
Speaking of fires,
we
brought the fire down on Venezuela. Maduro. Are we going to play the clip first, or what do you want to? How you want to hop into this?
How do you want to hop into this? Well, I mean, it's the biggest news story. I will say, biggest news story, definitely of the week, hands down. This may be the biggest news story of the year. We may get to the end of 2026 and say nothing more significant happened than the United States going into a foreign sovereign country, arresting the leader of that country and his wife, and bringing them back to the United States to stand trial.
Okay, first off, behind the curtain, Clint texted me last night. Was like, "Are you excited to talk about Venezuela?" And I was like, "Yes, no, sort of, yeah." I mean, let's talk about the event first, like the military strategy that this took. First off, no soldiers were hurt or were killed.
Right.
There were some that were injured, and they're in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna let you guide this conversation.
Well,
so I don't get myself in trouble.
I mean, here's disclaimer on the top for this. This is a story we're going to talk about for weeks to come. Mm-hmm. At least the next few weeks, if not longer. And there's so many different sides of it, so many different nuances and facets of the discussion that this affects. We're not going to cover all of them today. But just as a point that you brought up, how good at their job as our military. We just went into a foreign country and got their leader, and nobody got killed. Can you imagine?
No.
Like going into a foreign country, just like let that sit for a second. We came in and got your leader, and you didn't kill a single one of us.
Not one.
Not one.
And now this is the second time, though. Think about that. This is the second time we've gone into a foreign country.
Talking about Bin Laden?
No. I'm talking about Iran.
Because we went and killed him, and nobody got killed.
Nobody got killed. But I'm talking about current. Like I'm talking about military action during Trump's second term.
The Iran thing, I'm not going to diminish pilots, but there were no boots on the ground.
100%.
They're dropping bombs from the air.
But I'm just talking about the military strategy
Yes.
of putting and doing something like that.
Well, and the secrecy with that one.
And
nobody expected
Nobody
it.
knew it. Now,
Trump said you have a 2-week window, and the day after that expired. He said within 2 weeks. It was the next day. And he sent the planes flying the other direction.
Fooled us.
Fooled us.
Fooled this podcast.
But, which is not hard to do. But Maduro was arrested, brought back to the U.S. So we went to the Iwo Jima. And then at some point, I don't know where this transfer took place. I'm assuming he got off a helicopter, and because he eventually got onto State Department airplane.
Yep.
Blue and white, landed at JFK. Went to the same jail that the United Healthcare assassin is staying at.
Yep. Luigi.
Luigi?
Mangino. And you know who else is there? Puff Daddy.
No, he's out though.
Sean Combs.
It's where he stayed. He's out.
Okay, he's out now.
When that little charge came down. By the way, did you watch the documentary on Netflix?
I've tried.
I have too. We are in episode 2, by the way.
Same.
It's a 4-episoder.
Yeah.
And we're in episode 2. And the other night, gosh, we're going everywhere tonight. Whatever. We haven't recorded in a couple weeks. Okay.
We had a lot to talk about.
We got into it just as a side note on the P. Diddy Netflix thing. And it's like we're in episode 2, and it's like, yes, we could turn it back on and watch it. But if there's anything else at all we want to watch, we're watching that right now. It's okay.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies too much.
It is. It's all right. But so then he gets to New York. He's arraigned today on charges of narco-terrorism, cocaine importation to the U.S., and the possession of machine guns and destructive devices. His wife was given the same charges. The machine gun one, is that interesting coming from a Republican president? That we're charging someone with gun control laws?
I hadn't thought about it like that. A little bit. But we did just go into his country and take him out of his house.
Yeah.
So I guess I shouldn't be shocked that a accused drug lord has guns in his house, right?
And destructive devices.
But
you know how it is. They're going to rack up charges.
I
mean,
it's a lot to unpack too. Like, and also we're all over in this conversation, but the fact that they took a authoritarian president, quote unquote, to New York who just elected a socialist as their mayor.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of ironic.
Interesting. Yeah,
my initial reaction, okay, I'll kind of, as I did with the Iran stuff, my initial reaction was like, dang, I really don't want us to have boots on the ground.
Yeah.
That's my initial reaction. And I've been pretty consistent with that.
You said that once or twice before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like war. I don't like it.
Well, I don't want to be in another jungle war.
Exactly. And
here's the thing,
never ended well for us.
It hasn't. We have not. I could be wrong. Reserve that right. We're not, whatever podcast. I can't think of the time we've successfully completed regime change.
Panama.
Which one was that?
It was in the 80s.
Yeah, I know, but
we were there for 4 years and then passed it on. But it also had to do with the Panama Canal, and
yeah,
we're not good at it.
We're not.
We're very good at going and
we
blowing
certainly
things
have
up.
not been good at regime change in the Middle East.
No.
Now this is different.
And I don't think you can compare them. I don't think you can compare them.
Yeah, this isn't religion.
And I think too, like Maduro on both sides of the aisle until we actually went in and did it has been, both the Democratic Party. I saw Pierre. What was the press secretary for Biden? What was her name? Pierre was her last name.
Yep.
Came out and said, Maduro. This was like 2023. ish 2024, late 2023, early 2024. And she said that they did not, he did not step down after the election.
Right.
And then
the Biden administration recognized
what are we going to do about
his challenger as the winner.
Correct.
As the rightful president of Venezuela.
And then you have our good buddy Chuck Schumer up there as well on record in 2020, 2019-ish, saying that this was an issue.
Right. And yes, during that time, he went on George Stephanopoulos and talked about how Maduro regime had to end. He had to deal with it. And just, a short time ago was on the floor of the Senate saying that Trump hasn't done anything to, quote, end the Maduro regime. And then now he's going to be upset about how he ended it. And I was talking with somebody about this yesterday. And, a lot of this, as you would expect, like, again, I have my reservations about it. I have concerns about what could happen, about us running Venezuela for a short amount of time, what that's going to look like, how that's going to be fleshed out. I don't think a lot of people have many answers on what that's even going to look like. But at the same time, like, if you're on the left and you hate this, Obama just would have killed him with a drone strike.
100%.
And somehow going in and arresting him and bringing him back to face charges in front of a jury, a trial in front of a judge, how is that worse? Obama killed an American citizen with a drone strike.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, pass your
so
own
many drone strikes.
Pass your own litmus test about what you actually care about.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard for me to take people seriously who are blaming Trump and saying he shouldn't have done this. Like, I have my concerns, but it's the same thing with the drug boats. What is your solution?
Well, and I think too, there's again a lot to unpack here.
Oh, Biden would just say, "Don't."
Yeah,
that's all he had. That's the only thing he had in his.
I have one word.
Yeah,
don't. I'm gonna look into the camera.
Yeah,
don't.
That's the only weapon he had in his box.
And so I think too, like when you look at the reaction, and that's one of the things that was interesting as we looked at the videos coming out, the amount of what appeared. I tried to not look at a whole lot of social media right after it happened.
Yeah.
Figure out what happened. Okay, I see it. Give it 24 hours, see what the response is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, it seemed like it was about 90% celebration, 10% disagree. That's what my feed was. That's what my algorithm was feeding me. Now, obviously, I'm more conservative, so my algorithm is going to feed me more conservative stuff.
I want you to look at this clip. I have not shown this to Kyle. It's going to show two different protests. It's a news story.
Okay.
I want you to just see what you notice about the first protest. I'm sorry, not protest, demonstrations. The first one is a protest against Trump arresting Maduro. The second is the Venezuelans and their reaction to Maduro being arrested. But it is a news story. Tell me what you notice.
The capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife on Saturday sparking several protests across the United States. This is video of Saturday's protest in Minneapolis. Many calling the operation illegal and demanded the Trump administration return Maduro. But the White House doubling down on its decision, saying both he and his wife need to be held accountable for what he terms.
You notice anything right there?
Why is there a Palestinian flag in there?
Yeah. The protest against Trump arresting Nicolás Maduro has 30, 40 people, and this is just one, I know there are others, waving a Palestinian flag.
Narco terrorism.
But while some Americans protested, Venezuelans living in the U.S. celebrated Maduro's removal. They were heard chanting liberty and were seen waving the Venezuelan flags all morning long. Some were even brought to tears as today's strike could bring them a step closer, I should say yesterday's strike, closer to reuniting with loved ones after years of separation. While the future of their country's leadership remains unknown, they believe this is a positive step forward to reuniting with loved ones back home.
I went online and I was like looking at all the news, and I was just like with like the feeling of I want to cry, but also I'm happy, and I couldn't sleep. So I decided to come here and see and feel with the other people the same feelings that I'm feeling.
That celebration happened in Doral, Florida. It's a suburb of Miami, and about a half of all Venezuelans in America live in that area.
Reaction.
Isn't that interesting?
It's so interesting. And that's more of what I saw
Yeah.
versus the first.
So in a place, in a town, in a city, suburb, whatever it may be, where half of Venezuelan Americans live, you have celebrating in the streets. Like,
I did not fact check this. But I just I'm taking it as somewhat truth. I saw a news article that said that Venezuelans are the second most displaced people in America. Somewhere in the millions of displaced people who have come from Venezuela.
maybe because it's such a larger country. You know, you would think per capita or percentage wise, Cuba has a large population displaced and living in the U.S.
Yeah, I did not realize. And here's my other thing too. Just a quick search. It doesn't pull up exactly the number, but I did read that it was a huge amount of people, and they are the second most displaced people who come to the United States.
Wow.
Now, that could be completely false, and somebody can fact check me on that. But here's the other thing. Didn't the Globe just give the lady who was fighting against this the Nobel Peace Prize?
Yes.
And she was the elected president.
No,
just a...
She's Machado. She's a different person. She didn't, I don't know if she ran, but it was another guy who actually won, but Maduro refused to step down, retained power in 2024. But she is a freedom fighter in Venezuela. And she, of course, is praising this. She's been online praising it. The vice president, Durcy Rodriguez, she came out, of course, spitting fire on day one. She calmed down today.
Yeah, her rhetoric was much different today.
And that makes sense. If she comes out yesterday or when it happens and she's like, guess I'm president now. I mean, then it looks like she's complicit, right?
Yeah, and there was some of that tone too.
Yeah.
Like
so
on the interwebs.
She's got to come out and spit some fire.
Yeah, of course she does.
But then you just got to realize the reality of it. And of course, Mexico hates it. Cuba, of course, hates it. Their economy is about to collapse because of this. Venezuela is propping them up. Iran liked having an ally here. Russia liked having an ally close to the U.S. China, was funneling those drugs through Venezuela to the U.S. Also with the oil, black market oil, China was a customer and a supplier of the gasoline to go back to Venezuela for that. They don't like it. Now, Russia and China are smart enough and big enough players on the world stage to say they are concerned, whereas Mexico comes out and they're spitting fire as well. But it was telling to me to see the UK Prime Minister and Macron in France saying, yeah, we're not shedding any tears over the Maduro regime ending. And so here's my point. And again, we'll talk about this on and on and on as long as the story lasts and it's still developing.
I don't think it's going to last that much longer.
I think, though,
it'll be an undertone story for the remainder of the year.
I don't know, because we're going to have to run the country. And this is my point, is that I think this is the time where Trump needs to widen the tent and bring in others to help with this running the country until they can have another fair and free election.
I mean, or
we need other
we
need other countries in our tent. We need France. We need the UK. It would help to have a Latin American. Argentina loves us. That dude was praising, get them on board and let them, instead of us. I mean, we can assist in every way we need. And of course, we have the biggest and best military. But let Argentina, let the UK, let France, let some of these other countries be on the team. So it's not just the U.S. coming in and doing this unilaterally. That will go a long way to continue, and I'm not saying it's illegitimate, but to continue to give this legitimacy that it needs.
Also, who else had who gets a political win out of this is Marco Rubio.
Yes.
I know this is
I wanted to play
early.
a Rubio clip, but I liked so many of them and they were longer and I just couldn't pick one, but there are some great, Marco Rubio
He had a good weekend.
He was great on this subject. And one of the quotes, he's standing in an airplane hangar. I don't know where he's at, but he's saying, people are fine with us sending nuclear capable Tomahawk missiles into Ukraine, But when we have, we put a carrier group in our own hemisphere, in our own backyard, somehow they have a problem with it. Basically said to the effect of, please, go pound sand. Like, come on. You want the American military. You want us sometimes when you want to go for your cause or your thing. But if we actually go protect American citizens in our own backyard, then you want to have a problem with it. That again, that's what I mean. Like everything about this, the person I was talking to yesterday, I said, just the mental gymnastics the left is having to jump through to try to make this bad.
I just think it's crazy that we went from a no kings protest,
Yeah,
right?
no.
What was that?
To literally
90
taking
days?
out a dictator.
To that, but then also like I'm going to shift gears just a little bit. Then they have their poster boy Mondami talking about how he's going to make government even bigger.
Yeah.
And how the city is going to pay that. That is headed in a direction that you were just protesting against that Trump isn't necessarily.
Right.
And so like it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That can kind of guide us into our good friend of the show.
I don't know about that.
Former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. What's up with her eye?
What's just up with Nancy Pelosi?
That's true.
This is a bit of a ramble.
So if the Democrats win the House back.
Yeah. No. When? When the
She's
Democrats
manifesting
win
it
the House
there.
back, then we will.
So how does the next Democratic Speaker of the House deal with Donald Trump? What would be your advice? You've been
Be
there.
yourself.
You've done it.
Just do your own thing. Just be yourself. Hakeem Jeffries is ready. He's eloquent. He's respected by the members. He's a unifier, and he will have.
You have
his
no
own
doubt
path.
it'll be Hakeem Jeffries.
None.
Pause.
And
Can you pause?
I mean,
Okay, I don't know we're playing what ifs here. If the Democrats do win the House, let's say they win back part of Congress, I'm not so sure that Hakeem Jeffries gets the speaker.
Oh, I think he will.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got it. He's done exactly what he needed to do as the minority leader. It's not going to be AOC.
All right, you can continue.
do they go into investigations? Do you have more impeachment, another impeachment round, or do you try to deal with him and get something done on all the other issues?
Get something done with him on all the other issues?
Yeah.
Well, I think what you do is it's hard to get something that he will sign because of the problem that he
Right.
is. But you can hold up some of the things that they may put forth.
So
Of
you
course, they have the
block him
power of the
from-
purse.
Yeah.
We have the power of the purse. He cannot. But right now,
Yeah.
the Republicans in the Congress have abolished the Congress. They just do what the president insists that they do. That will be over.
So that ends
And
as soon as you have a
that
Democratic
ends as soon
speaker.
as we have the gavel.
Okay, first and foremost,
Not true.
none of that is true. Like
The government was shut down for 6 weeks
something like that.
because the Congress just does whatever the president tells them to. Please.
And like he's calling for them to call end the filibuster.
Yeah.
No, I don't know exactly how I feel about that 100%. But they're not just doing exactly what Trump wants.
No.
And that's absolutely ridiculous what she's saying there. Now, I don't even know that I
No, there is a good chunk. You could give me 100 or more Republican congressmen that do exactly where Trump wants to go. But you could also find me 100 who would do exactly what Obama wanted them to do, what Biden wanted them to do.
Yeah.
Going on down the list. Like that exists every single Congress, every single president. But to say that with a 4-person margin that there is no Congress anymore because they're just doing what Trump wants them to do, and then looking at the battles he's fought just in his first year in office in his own party to accomplish his agenda? No, absolutely not. But you don't expect, what do you expect from Nancy Pelosi?
I know.
What's she going to say? Like, no, they're not going to win the House. She's going to say they're going to win the House, even when she knows they're going to lose.
it's definitely something to tune into. Our good buddy Tim Walz, friend of the show.
Speaking of people who are not running anymore.
And having a bad week, brother.
Well, no, I was going to say like Pelosi's retiring. She's not running again. And Tim Walz announced today because, he did tell us that he was not running for president. As if anybody needed to know that.
Maybe in him.
And now he's told us that because he was running for a historic, as he called it, 3rd term as Minnesota governor, But he's decided for the good of the state to take the focus off of the scandal that he's not. And here's my thing. Like, you're done in politics at this point. The right thing to do is not to say I'm the victim of a witch hunt. And so
By the way, those are his words. That's a quote.
Exact. And to take the focus off of that and put it back on the people. I'm not going to run again. I'm suspending my campaign. What you say instead is, this happened on my watch, and for the good of the people, I'm not going to run again. Because that's the truth.
Yeah.
Wherever you fall in the spectrum of what's gone on in Minnesota, it's happened on his watch. He was the leader of the state. And yeah, he's not the victim of a witch hunt. He's not a victim of anything.
It's also very apparent that he lives in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
There's no, like, if this happens under Abbott, right? Let's say something of this magnitude happens under Abbott. There are Republicans on the House legislative floor that are just taking him to town. And he's not going to be able to do that.
100%.
And that even more proves to you that there, in my opinion, that proves even more to you that there's fraud.
They're saying that Klobuchar is going to be the Democratic nominee. You've got a few people running on the Republican side, including My Pillow guy. Do you know the My Pillow guy's running?
I saw that.
Yeah.
I don't think I even knew he was in Minnesota.
I lost a little respect for him during the Trump thing in 2020. There was an episode where he showed up at the White House with like manila folders of papers, and they wouldn't let him in the door. Like, he went a little
kooky.
I mean, a lot of people did. And I'll say it here. Until the 2024 election, I was on the side of the fence of Trump probably lost in 2020. And then when the vote totals came out and they went way back down again, I was like, there's something to that, which I know all of my friends and, family and everybody who were telling me all along. I'm not saying that I was 100% sure about 2020, but when those vote totals came out in 2024, and it's like, creeping up over like Bush and Obama presidencies, and then Trump 2016 of like, high 60 million, low 70 million votes. And then Biden's like 80 something million votes.
I know.
And then it comes back down in 2024 to that low 70 million votes again. There's something there. Like, you don't have to be a genius to take a step back and be like, everything else aside, there's something there. Anyway, he's not running again. He's done in politics. He was done in politics to begin with. But if Klobuchar goes, that's a Democratic senator leaving, and that opens that door.
Yep.
So
that will be a very interesting thing to pay attention to on the back burner. I mean, obviously, we're not anywhere close to paying attention to Minnesota politics until this last couple of weeks.
It'll be fine if we never have to say the name Tim Walz again.
I'm just shocked that he's been able to hold the news this long. Yeah. Now, obviously, he may be the governor of a state who may have the largest fraud case in all of U.S. history.
And it's still developing.
Did you see?
It's like it's already really bad. So it's just getting worse.
It's not on the run sheet to talk about the Somali daycares, but Did you see they're trying to hire actors?
Yeah.
Actor families?
Yeah.
Boy. And then the dude that got up there and gave the speech had like on $2,300 glasses.
Yeah, I know. So talk about algorithms. I get a lot of boat things in my algorithms because I have a boat, and I follow a lot of boat pages. And it was like me and you once we opened a Somali daycare, and it's like the nicest boats. These like $300,000 go fast boats,
yeah,
million dollar yachts and everything going down through the water.
I mean, we're laughing about it, but it's so not funny.
No,
it's so.
He did say in his statement, $1 of tax dollars used for fraud is $1 too many. Well, thanks for that, Tim.
It may end up being hundreds of billions of dollars.
It's a lot of money.
And again, you see these stories on TikTok and Instagram and these reels, and you see like it's this guy and he's he's standing, like the video is like facing him. It's his phone, and he's standing like, and it says something about Minnesota behind him. So like he's trying to say that I am in Minnesota, and he was talking about how he's a repairman in Minnesota, and he does a lot of Section 8 housing. And so he would go to these houses, and obviously they're not in great shape, but they would have $80,000 vehicles outside.
Yeah.
He was like, I was like, he says, he was like, I just thought, a lot of people live here, so maybe they just have one car and they want to have a nice car, whatever. He was like, I never judged them. He was like, it was just always something like, man, this is a really nice car outside this not so nice house.
Right.
And he was like, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
So then I went to his page, and I'm like scrolling through his page just to see, like, in my own mind, like fact checking, and it was like all like home repairs and discussion of Section 8 housing and things like that. Like that was all of his videos.
Yeah.
So it checked out to me, and I was like, oh, this is an interesting one. Hey, I got a joke for you though.
Okay.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
R. So while we're talking about boats and
I'm
having
so excited about this.
$300,000 boats, like this happened like it's kind of gotten pushed past.
If my wife would let me, I would do this.
It got pushed back in the news cycle because I think it happened like maybe 10 or 12 days ago. But I'll let us play the clip first. But I'm signing up, brother. If they let us, let's go.
I know.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk and Donald Trump Jr. expressed support for reviving letters of marque and reprisals to combat drug cartels.
You probably teach
Senator
about that.
Mike Lee laid out
Yes.
a detailed plan to bring back the old tactic of privateering in the form of, quote, private security firms or specially trained civilians to intercept cartel operations. Lee argued that the move would allow for more flexibility in combating threats from drug cartels and save taxpayer money. His proposal drew support from several of those close to President Donald Trump, like his son, Donald Trump Jr. Doge leader Elon Musk co-signed Trump Jr.'s support of the legislation. Other critics were more skeptical, with some pointing out logistical problems with the plan. The Cato Institute's Alex Naraste says, quote, letters of marque and reprisal were effective in the past because privateers could legally sell the ships and cargo they captured. The most valuable property that drug dealers own is drugs. Would the government let the privateers sell the drugs they capture?
Listen, side note, and I'll keep playing it. That don't matter. I'm going to tell you this. There are some Texans in Galveston right now with a boat
Yes.
and some rifles
Yes.
that are ready to go
Ready to go.
without seizing anything. No, they're just ready to go.
The proposal comes as senior law enforcement officials in the administration have warned of potential violent pushback from Mexican cartels. On January 27th, a suspected Mexican cartel gunman opened fire at Border Patrol agents stationed at the Rio Grande Valley of South Texas.
Which is
Victor
not
Avila,
uncommon to
a
happen, by
retired
the way.
senior agent with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Homeland Security Investigations, said it would only be a matter of time until the cartels took greater violent action in response to the rapid arrests and deportations. Recently, Border Patrol has apprehended nearly 1,000 immigrants daily, with the administration's express goal of apprehending thousands more. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced he directed the state's military department to deploy 400 members of its Texas Tactical Border Force to the Rio Grande Valley to work with federal border patrol.
I'm not going to. Basically, for the layman terms, they're going to allow us to be pirates again.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
One of the best reels I saw about this was, I don't know which, it's a later Pirates of the Caribbean because, spoiler alert, Orlando Bloom kid has the scar across his chest.
Right.
So that event's happened and they're all fighting together. So, but it's when they come up on each side of that British ship and just unload cannon fire from both sides and just destroy it. And it was like, 5 minutes after Trump allows us to be pirates again. If my wife would let me, man.
You wouldn't even, you could just take pictures of the drugs, sink the boat, take the guys on the board.
That is the thing, though. Like, there's going to have to be, like, not a fan of government regulation, all right? Conservative. But there's going to have to be some, like, some accountability for them, these people not going down there and, like, disabling the boat, shoot the engines up, then come up and take all the drugs, Like, I could see some people, like the Cato Institute guys, he's not completely off. There's going to be some, how you say? Shenanigans.
There'll be some shenanigans that happen.
Some pressure to keep all that money. But I don't know, like what a boat full of cocaine is worth.
I have no idea.
Pay the guys that much money and say, sink the boat.
Well, we're kind of already doing that.
My
So.
boat's not that fast, though. I'd have to get out a new boat. But hey, this gives me a reason to. And if I'm a privateer, it's a business expense.
Oh, you could have write it off as a tax.
Of course. Of course I am.
There's a loophole and everything in.
I wonder if I could go get a small business administration loan to buy the boat.
Ooh.
Get one of them suckers. But each one of those like Yamaha 600, especially those racing ones, those things are like $150,000 each.
Okay, while we're living
You
in
need
what
four
if,
of those on the back of there. That's $600,000 just in engines.
does the government auction off naval equipment? You know, like how they do
You think we could go buy a destroyer?
I don't know. What could we buy a retired battleship?
I follow an airplane guy because I also like airplanes, and he just bought a MiG-25, Foxbat.
Mm-hmm. You have to have a special license to fly that.
You just can't fly with ordnance, but you can fly them.
So,
Huh.
okay, podcast homework.
Maybe not a destroyer. Maybe we could go buy a frigate.
Or a battleship.
Well, that'd be more. That's
How about
bigger.
a carrier? Then we could take our airplanes off on that too.
I don't think there's any of those for sale. They sink those and turn them into reefs.
That's true. What about a cruise ship? Would a cruise ship be able to take?
There's probably some cruise ships for sale at an auction somewhere.
I bet we could find
some
one.
of those smaller carnival boats that, they're heading to scrap. I mean, but those are slow. You can't have it slow. You
It's
need
the turtle in the hair here.
You need the speedboat.
You cut them off.
Then they just outrun you.
Angles.
Angle.
Take the better angle.
They just outrun you. I don't know if you want to go fast boat.
Okay, then we purchase the
some
helicopter.
RPGs.
Yeah, we could purchase the helicopter.
Oh, there's your thing.
There's my thing.
It's like the helicopter outruns, disables the boat.
That's right.
And it takes the cruise ship a half a day to catch up. But you got your own cruise ship, midnight pizza buffet, and blowing up narco boats.
Ooh, this is off the rails. That was great. I'm here for it, man.
But if you're going to use a drone in this operation, it's got to, from now on, unless you already have it, got to be a U.S.-made drone, because the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, which you might think, what do they have to do with drones? Well, of course, they're controlled by remote controls, and that handles over the airwaves, have canceled all foreign-made drone licenses, new licenses, which this has been talked about for a long time. I have a drone. I'm a drone guy. Flown them for a long time. DJI is the Chinese company this affects the most. It'll also count for all the little toy ones too, because they all come from China as well. But the more professional or more higher up ones are the DJI drones. And like, I have a DJI drone, and I feel like it just got a lot more valuable.
Oh, yeah.
But there are some really good, it's not like the drone industry is dead. There are some really good American drone companies, a couple of them. And those guys, their business is going to be booming, which, hey, it's what Trump's about anyway, is American business.
Yeah.
So, and they're good. They're good. I have a DJI. I really looked hard at a company called EXO, before I bought my last one, which was a DJI, but they're very comparable. Like, they're good. And they're American made.
And it does seem like the drone, we just spent a lot of time laughing and giggling, but the Walmart drones that with the zip lines, I mean, they're everywhere in our area. I mean, and I sat there with the wife running inside to get.
And they scoot. Those suckers move.
They're moving. We were in Greenville. The one in our town doesn't have as many. I think it's only like 8 to 10, but there's like 25 of them in the Greenville Walmart. And those things are coming in and out of that place the whole time I'm sitting there. And I think I counted over 50 different in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
50 different launches.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife, we needed like one thing that I'd forgotten that day that we had to have for the night.
Right.
And I would have paid double.
Yeah.
Like, I think the item that I needed was like $9. I would have paid $20 to not have to get out of the house and have it delivered right in our front yard.
Yeah, for sure.
But does it reach your house? Have you tried?
No, we do delivery, but it's all been the normal people delivery.
Because I live on the opposite
we
side
haven't
of
had
town.
a drone delivery yet.
Has anybody in your neighborhood, do you know?
I haven't seen one. I've seen them taking off when I'm sitting at the gas station over there by the Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
I've used to think they're quick. They take off and they're gone. So they're going somewhere in our town. I don't know.
I
if we're
wonder
on
what the
edge or
radius
not.
is.
Yeah, I don't know.
because you live a little bit further. We probably live about the same distance from the store.
It's only a 4-minute drive.
I mean, for me, I got to get on 30, and that traffic is horrendous.
I just mean I'm not that far away.
Okay, gotcha. So what we're talking about food. Snap is going to ban junk food April the 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. Is going to ban most junk food in a majority of the states. The list of the states was more than 50% of the states, so I didn't list them all.
Right.
But it was a good... this goes back to that...
we talked about this.
We did, Make America Healthy Again. Yeah. We knew this was probably coming down the pipe. And most manufacturers of food... Procter & Gamble came out, which is one of the largest manufacturers of food or distributors of food in the United States, had kind of agreed to remove most dyes from their food. Mm-hmm. And so they haven't put out an exact amount of like what qualifies as junk food versus healthy food. But I did also see, for those that are, I have a lot of weird, stupid knowledge. Okay, so when I was in the trucking industry, like knowledge that never is going to be beneficial unless you're talking about a podcast and you're talking about stupid snap foods. So the amount of waste that goes into a grocery store, especially in fresh produce, is unbelievably high. And so what some states are trying to do is they're trying to deregulate those. So like, for example, if this is like eggs, for example, if eggs reach an expiration date, that doesn't mean that they're bad. Mm-hmm. It just means that it can't be sold. Mm-hmm. So what now some states are trying to do is deregulate that. So like, let's say it expires on a Monday. They're trying to put them in food pantries on Tuesday through Friday, mm-hmm. and then it has to be thrown away. Yeah. Or at a reduced price. So that way you know you're buying quote unquote expired food. Now, I don't know exactly how that looks. But even in the restaurant industry, this is something I'm going to ask Mr. Wells about when he comes up on the next episode, is like the amount of waste. Like, how can we do something with that? Right. Because I mean, think about like a restaurant that's a salad restaurant. Like that stuff's going to waste. So how are you going to fix something like that?
It is, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, your restaurants, a lot of them, especially the mom and pop ones, are repurposing that food. Your baked potatoes at night become breakfast potatoes in the morning,
It's valid.
That kind of thing. So I know like a lot of the barbecue restaurants that, the meat they don't sell at night, that you can warm up a brisket. It's never going to be as good as a fresh one. So that goes in your brisket chili. You got your brisket mac and cheese,
okay.
That kind of stuff. Which I do the same thing here. I mean, I made a brisket for Christmas for my wife's family. And man, we had some good chili after that.
And it lasts a long time.
Yeah. There's that restaurant, that little sports bar we like around here. They have a brisket grilled cheese.
I know. I saw that on the menu when we went.
Man.
I wanted to get that, but
I think I got it the night we went.
You did?
That thing.
Was it good?
I'm going to say something. Like, if you got some leftover brisket in your home because you smoke a brisket, use some of that for get you some Texas toast. There's a little weight to it.
I haven't eaten dinner yet, Clint. Makes me hungry.
Throw some cheese on there and throw some brisket.
While we're talking about holiday weight.
Boy, howdy.
I'm gonna flip that because that's a great transition. The GLP pill went on starting January 1st. The GLP-1 goes into a pill version. They released the price today. I guess it's just
been injection?
Yeah, injections only.
All right.
They released the price today for cash payers. It's $149
for a pill?
For a pill. For a daily pill.
A daily pill.
Daily pill, yeah. $149 a month.
All right.
It's about $5 a day. The injections are a lot more.
Yeah.
Around $250 to $300.
Is it already on the market then?
It started yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Started on Monday.
Huh.
Well, today, I guess. Today was the first day on the market.
And those are non-prescription. You can just go get it if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us. We're like doing an infomercial.
Correct. Yeah. And
a commercial for GLP.
I'm not.
What do you think about all those? I think you're about to tell me, but I'm cutting you off.
No, I am going to tell you. Here's my thing. If a person needs it for their health, I support that cause 100%. Whatever you have to do to make yourself healthy, right? As long as you're talking to your doctor, as long as you're getting your blood drawn, I'm a big, I go at least once a year, if not twice, depending on how I feel, to the doctor to get my blood drawn. I'm relatively healthy. Don't have a history of family problems with my health. So for me, I don't need that. Like I need to work out. That's what I need. But I can't tell you how many people I know that do eat right, do exercise, and they still cannot lose weight.
Yeah.
Like it's in the dozens of people.
There's a lot more nuance to that.
100%.
Like you could, I have
100%.
friends, you could line two people up and you could say, that guy probably eats better and works out. No, that guy's, getting fast food every single day.
Yeah.
There's so much nuance to it. I know, like, I've heard studies and like blood type and just genetics overall. Like, that's not always. Now, there's certainly the people who, and I don't know how well this will work. I think it works as an appetite suppressant.
It is.
But
it also regulates your hormones. It can.
It's originally a diabetes pill.
It is, and it regulates your blood sugar. It can help you go from diabetic to pre-diabetic to then not diabetic at all, depending on what you are. It also helps with Hashimoto's. It also helps with
it's not
hypothyroidism.
It's not necessarily something new on the market.
No.
It's been used for diabetes, but
for
as
a
Wilford
long
Brimley
time.
would say, diabetes. But now it's just more. I don't want to say you could take it recreationally because that makes it sound bad. But if you're not a diabetic, you can take it. It has other benefits. But it's not necessarily a new drug.
A person I knew took this before it became a popular weight loss drug. It helped maintain their weight, lose weight, and get all of their blood levels online.
Yeah.
It was like $20 a month.
Oh, wow.
For the injection. Then it became a fashionable weight loss drug.
Yeah.
And it went to like $850 a month.
Ooh.
Because insurance has stopped covering it because people were getting it for only weight loss.
Yeah.
So this was probably 3 years ago. So for the last 3 years, this person has been having to pay monthly $250 to $300 a month for their injection because you can't get insurance to pay for it. So you have to have that base.
That's like where we live.
Exactly.
Like we used to live in a farm town with affordable homes, and then everyone moved to Texas and Dallas, and everyone moved out here. And now, just because all them Californians moved out here, it's gotten more expensive.
And it's the same principle.
Yeah.
Same idea. And I just
higher
think
demand. Let's be the economics podcast for a minute.
So here's this is where I think that people are missing this. And I, like, there are also people on it that I know that don't need to be on it. You singed your finger. Oh, God, don't burn your finger.
It's a good cigar, though.
Yeah. I'm about to relight mine.
I'm smoking this one down.
There are also people on it that don't need to be on it that I know.
For sure.
And so I don't want to be a judge of them, but I'm also like, hey, you're now harming the people who do need it. And you're the person that can afford the $800 a month to take this injection. Whereas a person who may actually need it for their health to survive, to live, cannot afford it anymore.
I know that I remember a Oval Address press conference where RFK Jr. and Trump were talking about this. So is that price, that lower price, that $150 a month, is that a government subsidized type thing, or is that just what they're offering it at because it's a pill and it's...
I think it has to do with that, but what they were talking about was insulin, I believe.
Oh. No, they talked about the GLP-1s.
Okay.
And
it's same vein.
Yeah.
Same vein. But I also think that now it's becoming like, I think that with the negotiations that he made with these manufacturers, because this is a Dutch company that has Wegovy, and this particular GLP-1, I believe that came from this negotiation.
Cool.
Now, I haven't done enough research to determine exactly where it came from, but like we have so many health issues that prevent people from having children. This is one of them.
Yeah.
There's like,
for sure.
Do you remember, we were a little bit young, so this may not, but like is it Clomid? It's like the fertility drug.
I don't remember
like
that.
It was like a big joke. Like you had all these influx of twins because some women were taking this fertility drug.
Okay.
Well, the same thing is happening now. These families are taking this weight loss drug, which is then making them healthier, which then you can have children.
That's awesome.
And so like you saw, again, we talked about this on episode 53 with Jelly Roll. Like he couldn't take the GLPs because it affected him. It made him sick. And so he couldn't take it.
I have heard that.
So he tried.
Makes you nauseous, yeah.
Makes him super nauseous. And there was pancreatitis. It can that can be a side effect of it. And so like you just have to be super careful, but get healthy. Like if this helps you and it helps you get to where you can live longer and live a healthier life and be around for your kids or have kids,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at on all this stuff. Like, I don't particularly need it, but I'm also not going to tell someone that they can't take help to make themselves have a better life and a better live, live a better life.
Talking about healthy things you can put in your body. We have a distillery shutting down a plant. I saw this when it came across. Here's what I don't understand so much. They're blaming the tariffs.
Who's they?
Jim Beam.
Jim Beam. Okay.
Jim Beam. Funny story. Get to my honeymoon. We get checked into the hotel. Go down to the bar. I just want to get a couple glasses of champagne. It's our wedding night. We just got to the hotel. It's our honeymoon. The not from here bartender at the resort. I was asking for champagne. He thought I said Jim Beam. My tell should have been when he asked if I wanted it straight up. Like, how else would you have champagne? Like
on ice.
I was like
slushy.
I was like, yeah, straight, yeah, champagne, yeah,
neat,
yeah. I would like my champagne neat and bubbly. And so then he had me this 2 little short cups and like this much in there, and I was like, well, okay. I mean, it's an all inclusive. It's an all inclusive place, so maybe they don't give you a lot. You had to keep going back to the bar, that kind of thing.
Right.
Whatever. I'm new to this. This is back in the day, and I'm like, oh, that smells strong. Up the elevator, take a drink, and I'm like, that is some strong champagne. That is probably the only time in my life I've ever had Jim Beam. It's not great. So I'm not like super sad they're having to close the distillery for a year. I saw they said they're going to, it's like pick one. It's like we have some necessary improvements we have to make to the distillery. All of our other ones are staying open. It's just the oldest one, the one that we've had,
right.
Our flagship, whatever, is staying. We're having to close down for a year to make these necessary improvements and upgrades that we've needed to make for years. Oh, but by the way, we're doing this because of the tariffs too. Like, pick one, buddy. And it's made in the U.S., so what they're talking about, the best I can tell, is that they're not exporting as much to Canada because Canada's mad that we are tariffing their our imports of their liquor. Like, how much Jim Beam's going to Canada?
I guess a lot.
If it felt kind of like, well, we need to blame someone other than ourselves.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw the tariff word out there. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't really like Jim Beam that I'm hazing him a little bit, but whatever.
Okay, so I got to tell you a story about our honeymoon. First off, we got married very young, so we're 19. We go to the hotel bar, and we get kicked out.
Were you in country?
We were in country.
Okay.
So we went to the bar, and we were going to
go to Mexico.
We were literally just going to eat dinner, and they were like, can we see your ID? I was like, yeah. And he was like, you can't be in here.
Yeah, because I remember what you look like in high school, and you look 12 anyway. So,
okay. So also, speaking of that, we went out. I was getting at KP the barber. Guy walks in carrying a baby, and I thought it was a sibling thing walking in because man walks in, baby carrier, woman walks behind him, glance over, and I promise you, Clint. They looked like they were 12. And obviously they weren't. But it's just like, oh my goodness, that gentleman and that lady look like they're probably 19 years old carrying a baby. But anyways, I digress. I think this is a bigger issue. I personally think that, and I see this in not that kids don't drink anymore, but I do think that you're seeing a significant amount of, and I think this goes back to the whole SNAP junk food, is kids are smart and they know that this is a poison into your body. And we've talked about this before on the pod about how, they understand the effects of it. They understand that, it could lead to other things. And I think that you're going to see a generation of kids who are not heavy drinkers. Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of the outcomes of it. You could dive down a deep hole too of like the whole, marijuana industry is pushing back against alcoholism, and alcoholism doesn't always meld well with, smoking and that part of it doesn't meld well together.
Well, I bet.
So I'm sure it has something to do with a little bit of everything.
I bet THC is calorie free. Drinking's not.
No, it's not.
So,
and I'm not a heavy drinker, and occasionally I'll have every once in a while. It doesn't set well with me. Like as far as like gut health, it just doesn't it makes me sick every single time. And I could have just a little bit, and sometimes it sets well with me, and sometimes it doesn't. It just makes me uncomfortable. So I don't necessarily, that doesn't make me uncomfortable socially. It just makes me uncomfortable like physically. It makes me ill. So I just don't consume. Now I can have 10 cigars.
Right.
I'm fine.
Calorie free.
Also appetite suppressant.
Are they?
I don't know. I try to eat it. I try to smoke them on a
I thought it
stomach.
just made you hungry talking about brisket grilled cheese over there.
I was hungry, but now I'm smoking a cigar. I do want to circle back before we hop into end of year smoke sessions. The National Guard is being removed by Trump from Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland. That was announced this week. Again, kind of pushed in the background of Venezuela and Minnesota news, but I find this interesting that he's kind of backing off on this a little bit.
I think from a legal perspective, I think he's beat.
Yeah.
And I think you know that. Of course, the Democrats are saying that. Gavin Newsom's calling it a victory. He's also running for president hair gel, but whatever. Like,
we should market Cigar Politico Gavin Newsom hair gel.
Well, that's who is it? The comedian. Is it Rob Schneider who has Tears of the Left whiskey?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Some kind of end of the year notes. The S&P 500 closed 17% up. This is just some end of the year things that happened. Is this above average, normal? What is this?
It's better than average.
Better than average?
Average is like around 8%. But here's the thing, y'all, like, you just can't beat. Capitalism is not a perfect system, but it's a really good one. And if you just put your money in there, like, I'm not saying this is the only way you can invest, but if you put your money in there, you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. But overall, if you look at it over 50 years, you're going to have like 8 to 10% growth compounded on it. Like, it's the S&P is smaller market stocks. It's not what we call the big blue chips or the tech stocks like on the NASDAQ. So it's kind of more of your good run of the mill, but it is a good indicator for a lot of people who buy mutual funds. It's a good indicator of how your mutual funds did is how the S&P did. But Warren Buffett, I think you have a note on there as well, is retiring, outperformed the S&P by some crazy percentage. I saw the number. I want to say like outperformed the S&P by 18 times its average. I mean, he is the GOAT.
You know who outperformed him?
Our retiring former Speaker of the House.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Well, she had some inside information that Warren Buffett. I mean, that was one of the tells right there. And I think that's one of the reasons she's not running again. Not the only reason, but one of the reasons is when you're outperforming Warren Buffett, who is the GOAT, and she's like, oh, my husband handles all that. Yeah. From what you tell him. Come on.
Warren Buffett is stepping down as CEO as Berkshire Hathaway. I don't know that this is necessarily huge news because he's still going to have a role, but he is stepping down as CEO.
And they've had succession planning going on for a while. It's not like he's stepping down and they've got, who are we going to have? No, the new CEO and the new leadership panel has been in place and working towards that goal for a long time.
MTV is shutting down 24/7 music channels.
I think we brought this up before, and I think I said the same thing. I didn't realize they still had.
Me either.
Yeah, I'll joke with our kids about back when MTV used to play music videos.
I think I would watch that.
Do you remember the first one you saw? We might have discussed this.
We haven't discussed this.
I remember the first music video I ever saw on
trying
MTV.
To think. I don't know. I don't know that I remember.
Mine was November Rain, Guns N' Roses.
Really?
And what a classic music video would be the first one you saw. Slash out in front of that church, out in the desert, playing that solo.
Mine is not. I think the first one I saw was Jay-Z, Big Pimpin'.
Yeah.
I think that was the first one I saw. It's a great song. Great tune.
Do you like the who is it? Lost their lead singer and did the mashup album.
Oh, Linkin Park.
Yes.
It's okay.
What's that called?
I'm a big fan of Jay-Z's album Unplugged that he did on MTV, actually.
Yeah.
That was a great album. It's all acoustic.
Yeah.
And no digital. It's all, electric guitars, acoustic
Collision
guitars.
Course is the name of that album.
Yes.
I do like the Lincoln. I do like it.
It's a good album.
It's like 6 songs. It's good.
Not great, but not terrible. Bluey, top streaming show with 39.3 billion streams worldwide.
Don't you love seeing that? It's such a good, wholesome show.
Great show.
It could have been so much worse. It could have been.
For
sure.
sure.
I don't know if they're even still doing Jersey Shore or whatever, or Desperate Housewives, but it could be one of those.
But that
Instead,
has
it's
to be
Bluey.
also like the family that just has Bluey on Disney Plus and it just
All the time.
repeats itself over and over and over.
If you're going to have a show.
But here's the thing. Like in the age that we just went through with the last president and the societal swing that we went through, I never had to worry about that show showing something that wasn't going to be appropriate for my kid.
Yeah.
And even though there were some things like they had an aunt that had a friend that may or may not have been.
I mean, haven't we all had an aunt?
Or an uncle.
Listen.
But my point is you didn't have to worry about it, but there was a mom and a dad and 2 children. And that was
which is more
whole
than
story.
Disney ever gave you, because I think the amount of Disney characters who had 2 parents is like, what, 2?
Not very many.
Like Merida in Brave, she had 2 parents.
Yeah. Tangled.
Well, but her.
Not Tangled.
No.
Frozen. They had 2
But
parents,
Merida's
but they
mom
died.
was a bear. So
That's
never
true.
mind.
That's true. Or she
Are there
turns
any
into a bear.
Disney characters with 2 parents?
The Twitch has not been very active tonight. I don't know the answer to that question.
We're recording on a different day.
That's true. I don't know the answer to that question.
Gosh, I'm trying to think. I mean, Anna and Elsa did until they died, so they died, so that doesn't count. Not. Ariel just had a dad. So did Jasmine. I don't remember Cinderella's situation. Except
She's stepdaughter, right?
Stepdaughter, yeah. Same with Snow White. Crazy things we think about.
I don't know.
Sleeping Beauty.
Okay, Mulan.
Oh yeah.
Moana.
Yeah.
Brave.
Oh, well, yeah, but her mom was a bear.
I think she turns into a bear, doesn't she?
Maybe that's
I don't know the answer to that question. Emperor's New Groove, Zootopia, Inside Out, Incredibles, and Monsters Inc.
Incredibles, yes, we'll give them that. Incredibles.
Toy Story did not have 2 parents.
It's just a mom.
It's just a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's not, but that's not. But that's the list that gave Mulan, Moana, Hercules. I forgot about that one. Emperor's New Groove and Zootopia.
Okay. Yeah, the bunny had 2 parents.
Oh, Peter Pan, older Disney movies. Peter Pan, 101 Dalmatians, and the Aristocats.
Aristocats. Okay, but the main ones, the main ones.
Off the top of your head, it's not
the
an
ones
easy
that
thing to
you're
think about.
paying the money and spending the longest lines waiting in at Disney World. Do not.
Correct. Blue books are making a comeback, making a return, and I love it. I love a good blue book. And if you don't know what that is, back in the day, a decade ago, when you would go to college, all you would do to take an exam was a blue book, and it was just a blue journal. It had 8 to 10 pages in it, and that's what you did. You just filled that blue book, and if you didn't fill it, you got a 0.
And you had the vending machines where you go buy one and a pencil or 2.
And Scantrons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that those are.
And there were a few times early in my college career, I was running to that vending machine, having to wait in line behind people who also were procrastinators like me. Trying to get there because if you got there when the professor locked the door, couldn't take your test.
Couldn't take your test.
I hope they still do it that way.
I don't think so.
I have a daughter going off to college next year, and it teaches you so much responsibility about just. I've already had to tell her because she does have a little tinge of the senioritis, and she misses some school. We talked about this on the pod a while back, and I think one of your education friends chimed in on the Twitch answering some of my questions. But I keep wanting to tell her, like, when I was in college, I don't know if it's the same way, like, you could miss 1 or 2 and then they start docking your grade.
Yeah.
So you can still do that.
Yeah, you can miss 10 days of school without
in high school.
In high school,
but like in college, I wonder if it's still the same way where you get like 1 or 2.
Man, you only go to school twice a week. Come on,
or
now.
3 times,
or 3 times, depending on if you're have a lab class.
Oh, it costs 15 weeks. That's 45 times. I'm not defending it at all. I've told her, like, you're going to have to get your stuff in gear because. But she got accepted to, I think, the one she's going to go to. We're still waiting to hear from
Are
one.
we?
I think we're guns up.
Okay. Hey, they just got a quarterback from Cincinnati, so
it is a #1 nursing school in the state, top 5 in the country, and she wants to be a nurse. So
we need more of those.
Yep.
On to some more news rather than just end of year stuff. The Pentagon says it's taking steps to reduce Senator Mark Kelly's military retirement rank over video urging troops to refuse illegal orders. Any thoughts on that?
I don't like it. I don't like what he said. I don't like what he said. I don't like what Lisa Slotkin said. And there's a clip, we should throw it up on the socials. It's kind of long, but where Joe Scarborough and the MSNBC team are asking Elisa Slotkin, like, do you know of any? She's like, well, I think that, and even like the MSNBC is then saying after that, like, that's not good enough. That's the exact quote from what they say.
Yeah.
After she answers, like, and if MSNBC is turning against you as a Democrat saying that's not good enough, then yeah, there's something. I don't like what they did. I think there should be some repercussions for it. It's a little like, you know, what I struggle with Mark Kelly is that before he did that, I really liked the guy. He's a Democrat, whatever, but, you know, served his country, was an astronaut, like, and when you would hear him speak, even during campaigns and on political issues, he was a little more moderate, a little more center, and at least what he said made sense. You didn't see him doing this Trump derangement syndrome, attacking Trump and things. You didn't see a lot of that, at least I didn't. And then he came out and did this thing, and it really made me lose some respect for him. I don't know about somebody who served our country losing retirement rank, but I don't care enough about that to say that I don't like that action. It's a little bit of FAFO on his part.
Yeah.
You know? And I hope whether it happens or not, I hope it's a shot across the bow saying there is a line. You can hate Trump as much as you want to, but there is a line that if you cross, there's got to be repercussions.
I concur. The CDC, we've talked about this multiple times, but this came out 7 hours ago. NBC News. The CDC announces an unprecedented overhaul of childhood vaccine schedule. Significant shift, recommends fewer shots for all kids, going towards the more resembling the Denmark one. This the early thing that I read last week. This, like I said, this just came out 7 hours ago. Was going from 72 boosters or 72 shots, or depending on how you take them, you can combine them to 17. So again, I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I think this is a wait and see. I don't know if I want to speak for Clint, but we have an autism problem. We have an attention deficit problem. This appears to be part of the problem. So if we don't do anything, we have to do something.
If you look at the graph, which we put the graph up at one time of as vaccines have increased, so has the autism and ADHD problem. Like, it's hard to think that we've been putting chemicals into our kids. We increased the amount of chemicals we were putting into our kids, and at the same time saw an increase in those behaviors and those disorders. Like, I would say it's not a far leap to say that they're linked.
No, I agree. 2,000 federal agents are being deployed to the Twin Cities for an expanded immigration crackdown and fraud probe. We've kind of talked about that. More than 3 years after the gunman entered Robb Elementary in Uvalde and killed 19 students and 2 teachers, a criminal trial was set to begin on Monday. Former Uvalde CISD police officer Adrian Gonzalez, one of the officers first to the scene, is accused of failing to be there, but he actually was there. And he got there a little bit early.
I'm all for absolutely support people who put their lives in danger to protect us. But going back and looking at the timeline, going back and listening to the radio calls and the communication between the officers, like there's no excuse for that.
100%.
And if that was protocol, then let that serve as a test case to change it and fix it forever. Because a whole bunch of police officers standing outside of school while kids are being shot inside is not acceptable.
100%. UK Stammer says Greenland's future not for others to decide. This is one of those things where we've talked about this early in the podcast about, I did a deep dive research on Greenland and why Trump would be saying that stuff. There's a lot of
Denmark is pissed.
Denmark's mad because that's their land apparently.
I know it is. Yeah. I mean, it's part of Denmark, but like, what are you getting mad? Like,
yeah. And I don't think that we should invade Greenland. Greenland has done nothing. I think that that's a whole different outcome or a whole different look as far as like Venezuela, Cuba, they're in a totally different thing.
It's more, I don't want to use this word. I was going to say imperialist, but it's more of that vein of taking land that has strategic purpose for the United States. I think that's Trump doing Trump things. When he talked about it in the campaign and before he was inaugurated after the election, I was like, that's never going to happen. But he was also talking about renaming the Gulf to the Gulf of America. And we said that probably wouldn't happen, and it did. So that's a much lower level of, than having a 51st state and taking Greenland. But that is very much Trump doing Trump things.
U.S. flu infections surged over the holidays, and health officials are calling it a severe season that could likely get worse.
Oh, when are health officials ever giving good news? I mean, they're not relevant unless there's something bad happening.
That's true.
So they've got to keep themselves relevant. You never want the health officials to come out. Well, you want them to, but they're never going to come out and have a press conference and be like, you guys are doing great. We ain't got no flu. You guys are washing your hands.
Oh, that made me giggle. When you said that, it made me laugh, and it made me click on something else. Let's see. There's been a lot of talk. Nearly 24 states are increasing minimum wage in 2026, as will Texas follow. Don't think that's going to happen in Texas.
No, I don't think it's on the agenda.
And you wouldn't be able to do it in 2026 anyways. You'd have to wait till 27.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of stuff going on with, there's a lot of things that we already covered in the news. But basically everything right now is Somalia, Minnesota, Venezuela over the last couple of days anyways. So
can't wait to see what happens this week.
Hopefully it's a little bit quieter. Well, no. For a current events podcast, we want it to be very active.
That's right.
As long as it doesn't affect us. Any big plans for the week?
No, did you have a good Christmas?
I did, man. It was so calm, quiet. Just got to spend a lot of time with the family, which I really, 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 really enjoy.
We did blow up our gingerbread house, fashioned in the shape of the White House without the big, beautiful ballroom. Somebody told me that listens to the pod, they said, for your persona on the pod, which first of all, I don't have a persona. This is just me. They said it would have been much better if you'd have built the big, beautiful ballroom and blew that up. I was like, you got a point.
I mean, yeah.
Or if I built the entire complex and only blew up the big, beautiful ballroom and left the rest of it.
Oh, yeah, that would have definitely
But we did. A couple artillery shells, took that sucker out. It was the portico remained, but it had those big 1-inch thick candy canes for its columns. Okay. And those things held on pretty strong. So when it first went up, all that was left was just the round portico at the front. And so, of course, we had to put another artillery shell on that to blow that thing up. So
it took 2?
3 total. Yeah.
3.
White House strong.
No, we got just school starts back up full-fledged tomorrow. So I'm excited. I enjoy what I do. So I'm kind of the outlier amongst most. It was like, yes, let's get, and also like routine. So that helps too. Like I'm a big routine guy. And when my routine gets thrown off, it throws off everything. So
yeah,
I
was working through the holiday, and my wife went back today, but it did kind of feel like today was like, okay,
yeah,
we got up kind of normal-ish time, I've been going out for lunch. We went and did some meal prep on the weekend. We got the lunches packed, and I do enjoy that routine. I'm a creature of habit.
My son was complaining on the way home from practice tonight. I don't want to get up. I'm like, dude, you got up at 6:30 every single day over the break.
Yeah.
It's the same. But you got to get ready and you got to go to school and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, I'm excited. Man, have a good week.
See you.